Now, based off of the sheer amount of people who told me to watch it, and then the amount of people who told me not to watch it, all right, I'm going to watch this video. We're here for that. We're absolutely here for this. Listen, I've heard of Nick Fuentes. I've not heard a single good thing about him, all right? But whatever, we're here for that. I'm not weak, all right? Let's check it out. Let's see where this video takes us, guys. This is a suggestion via multiple channel members, all right? Let's do it.
It's a shame. I really do believe, look, I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look,
okay,
these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, you know, look, nobody hates black people for being black. If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative. Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder.
Oh my God, not the Altima. Okay, listen, so as of right now, I'm not hearing anything that's kind of off, you know, off color, let's say. Like every single thing that he just said here, I can imagine my mother or my father specifically sitting in a room, right, and having a conversation kind of about these things pretty much in the open here. I think black people, the ones that are not associated, let's say, with like hood culture, have these conversations all day long. If this is why you guys told me not to watch it, I'm thoroughly confused, because this is absolutely the monologue that has happened in my household growing up for the entirety of me growing up. I don't hear anything wrong with this so far here, guys.
So black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder.
Like, is it everyone?
Say,
no.
What the f? You're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane, and, you know, not everybody can do that. Right. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're rude.
Guys, I tip super high, like 50, 60%, because I literally know I've been out with other people and they were just like, I'm not leaving no tip. I'm like, what? Right? I end up doing it, but I specifically tip 50 to 60% on average, just to make up for the shortcomings.
And that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. You know, that's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that.
I'm going to be honest. I'll be completely honest here, guys. So listen, because I know I can get away with saying some of the things that most likely he cannot get away with saying. Listen, I can say this right now, bro. If I see specific hairstyles, I'm sorry. you're basically a wash to me. Like if I see any type of dreads on your head, bro, all right, I'm almost not going to 100% take the conversation that we're having seriously. All right, I'm just not going to do it, bro. If I see those ridiculous Florida twist things that the individuals wear, the YNs wear, forget it. Immediately, I'm disregarding everything you're saying. All right. And most likely, I'm not even going to walk into the building until I know you're out of it. All right. So let's just understand here. I get what he's saying here. All right. I don't think that there's anything wrong with he's saying here. This is just being truthfully honest in a scenario where where most people would not be this truthfully honest. I mean, I get it. He's a Fuentes. Right, so he's not going to be looked at in the same manner, saying it in other ways, basically, right? He's not going to be looked at like that, right? But just understand this here, guys. I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying here. There is a literal problem in the Black community. He's saying that there's a moral decline or a lack of morals. He's not lying here. Right now, 2025. Listen. If you understood the neighbor, guys, hold on. I specifically moved to a zip code where I am one of the 2 Black Americans in it, guys. Okay, I'm one of the 2. All right, just understand that there for a reason. I didn't specifically move to like the hood for just so I can I can't live my life like that. I'm not bringing my family around that, bro. No. I'm not gonna do it, bro. I don't respect the hood. I don't respect hood culture. I don't respect backyard barbecue culture. I did that. I said that, right? I don't respect none of it, bro. I don't want nothing to do with any type of debauchery, bro. I just can't, under any circumstances, bro. I can't. My family do not even engage in anything like this, and I mean this to the depth of me. People say, a lot of people yell at me in the comments and they're thoroughly confused why I don't back some of the ridiculous like hood mentality type of clauses. And I'm just like, bro, they call me all types of like Uncle Tom. Don't even know the story of Uncle Tom when they call me Uncle Tom, right? But either way, live your best life in ignorance. But listen, Uncle Ruckus, I'm all types of things. Because I won't adhere to the nonsense. I don't respect it. I'm not going to support it. You cannot come to me and ask me to come to your backyard barbecue party, bro. They're going to be like 30,000 fights, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not engaging in that. I'm not bringing my family around it. That's not happening here. Now, is it every single Black American that I've encountered? No, my neighbor is fine, right? Like my neighbor is great, actually. You see what I'm saying here, guys? And I've met so many positive, business focused, moral focused, ethics focused, forward, let's say, Black Americans in my life, but it just seems like the ones who tend to kind of make it the biggest are always the ones who are the most garbage, if that makes any sense here. It seems like that's just the trend. And with that being said, the overwhelming masses tend to look at, I guess, Black Americans in America as that one specific ilk of literal filth. Okay. Because I can tell you, like in my family, there are many Black people, obviously, right? But that's just not my lived experience. Like my lived experience is not the hood. My family are not ghetto. I remember talks with my great grandmother, and she was just like, "Listen, whatever the overwhelming majority of Black Americans are doing, bro." And she was like 80, bro. Whatever the overwhelming majority of Black Americans are doing, do the opposite. Period. That's legitimately what I was taught from literal like toddlerhood, bro. All right. I don't know, but anyway.
And people go, and these Black people go, "Well, you're racist. You're racist." It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior.
Yeah, that's fair.
If Black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, Black people, oh, yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir?
Look, what you just confirmed was that you can never be perfect as someone, if that makes any sense here. That's just confirmation of kind of that statement. Like when someone hates you for something, this has nothing to do with this specific argument because he's right in this argument. But when someone doesn't like you for something, let's say you're being called fat all day long, bro, lose weight and watch you be called, you're going to start being called too skinny. All right. Like you can never be like adequate to like another person. Understand that.
Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes. If black people were known for being the best, then we would be racist in the other direction. Oh, finally. So yeah, that really bothers me. It just bothers me in this damn ass city, because that's all it is in Chicago, is just
He's in Chicago?
black people who can never take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, yes. Yes, I absolutely can confirm that exact statement here. Accountability is an issue. Like if we follow like which gender generally has issues specifically with dealing with accountability, you'll realize that most likely it's going to be the women, right? Now, look at the Black American community. You realize that fatherless households are like everywhere, right? And who's raising these men? Women, right? They're just embodying women. Like if you most of the men that women complain about were raised by women. Most of them, large scale. Like most of the prisons, right, that house the criminals are criminals raised by women, right? Like, I mean, understand this here, the reality here. So what accountability is a problem in the Black American community because of these things. I would just specifically say that it is probably going to be that as the issue. Right? If you're wondering why, that's it. Period. Well, why don't the men stay in the house? Bro, like, do you understand what it is like sometimes specifically where you run into women that are specifically Black American community, you run into women that are like consistently always in some type of survival mode. And that survival mode, right, tends to make you have to do all the things that generally stereotypically are not like, excessively feminine. And so you're kind of living within this masculine energy. And it's really hard for the average man, I would say, to want to deal with a woman who is a woman by default, but very masculine, right? Not everyone, obviously, I'm not talking about everyone, but like that is a thing that is very prevalent within a Black community. And these men, some of them are legitimately hobosexuals, where they have nothing going for themselves. In fact, they have nothing going for themselves. They're broke, and they're looking for a woman who they think is easy to basically attach themselves to, because she has, 5 kids, because she's went through the same process with other Black American men, utilizing her resources that the government gave her. You get what I'm saying here? Utilizing that. Now they are having a baby with this woman, realizing, oh no, look what I did, right? That type of thing, running to the next woman and do the same thing again. It's hobosexuals, guys, right? Hobo, right? Either way, there are a lot of issues here. How do we fix them? I have no idea. I don't think that he's wrong here in this context. I definitely am glad I actually watched this here, because I don't really see anything wrong with it, bro. I looked for it. Right. I'm also not easily offended by things, so I'm glad I saw this at least, right? Because I agree with the majority of it. I've heard the majority of what he's stating within my household growing up. Period. Right. Stay away. Do not do this. You listen. Live your best life. Like your friends are going to have to be vetted before we allow you to even hang out with your friends if they have this if they have a similar skin tone. Like that's what I was raised with, right? Like my parents did not want certain people around me based off of their parents. Okay. And I kept that to my age of 38 right now, bro. Like, listen, I want to know everything about the person who who wants to hang out with me, bro. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Bro. Like just being normal, right? But keep this in mind, like, also a lot of my specific perspective on life came from me literally living outside of the country for over a decade, guys. I mean, I lived in the south of Spain. I lived in South Korea. I still live in the south of Spain, but only half of the year, right? So, like, I see the world very differently. I see race relations very differently, bro. Right? Like, I know what it feels like to drop the hyphen in American. You get what I'm saying here? What are you? American. Period, guys, right? Because I'm telling you, outside of the country, no one cares about these hyphens, bro. Get rid of them. They're silly. Right? I think it's just separating you to the point where now you think you're something different other than the literal American that signed a social contract, basically, to exist within the United States of America, right? To be coddled and held by our beautiful Constitution. How dare you? Drop these hyphens, bro. Get rid of them. You're silly. Silly, guys. But all right, listen, guys. I will stay on this topic for 30 minutes, I'm telling you. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, I will catch you guys later. All right. Drop the hyphens.